This video is about a senior who suffers a medical episode. It is based on a real-life possibility. However, some viewers may get distressed. Alan is 75. He spent most of his life teaching woodwork at TAFE, South Australia. Calm, steady, never one for fuss. His wife, Margaret, taught high school English and climbed the ranks while he quietly kept things ticking at home. They've had their share of storms, but always found their way back. Not because it was easy, but because it mattered. Now retired, Alan keeps fit, walks the trails, and still tinkers in his shed most afternoons. He's not one to talk much about feelings, but he still holds Margaret's hand on the way to the bakery every Sunday. After 50 years, that says enough.
One of Alan's favourite walks is in the Morialta Falls Conservation Park in the Adelaide Hills of South Australia. The walks vary from ambling to rugged. Alan prefers the ambling walks in the morning or just before dusk. The birds, the sights, the sounds all fill Alan with serenity. So, it was one morning in early summer before the temperatures climb over 30 degrees Celsius that Alan finds himself, once again, parking his car in the car park at the top of Morialta Falls Road. He is dressed in his favourite tracksuit, bum bag secure around his waist. He zips the bum bag, checks for his wallet, back right always, and sets off on a 2-kilometre walk. Very early on in his walk, he comes across a gurgling creek. He remembers years ago, as a scout, finding tadpoles in this very creek. Scouting was good for him. It taught self-reliance, the need to trust others, and many values, such as loyalty, that he still maintains today. A little further along, Alan spots a couple of women sitting on one of the old benches, slatted timber, curved edges, nestled in red earth and gum trees. They're about his age. One waves as he approaches. He pauses, smiles, and chats, just the usual. How's the track today? Any mozzies about? Anyone seen a koala yet? It's easy, familiar, like everyone out here is part of the same quiet club. As Alan climbs one of the steeper sections of the trail, he hears voices, bright, excited, echoing off the hillside. A school group appears, coming down the track. Kids pointing, laughing, spotting birds in the trees. Their teacher, a young bloke in shorts and a bucket hat, leads them carefully down. One girl points at a kookaburra. Another asks if they'll see a koala. Alan smiles and steps aside, remembering when he was the one at the front of the line, telling stories and reminding kids not to run. He gives the teacher a nod as they pass. It feels like the bush is in good hands. Further along, Alan meets a father and son walking back down the trail. A koala sits quietly on the branch, half asleep, half watching. The boy grins and points. Look. He's just sitting there. Alan smiles beside him, soaking it all in. Then Alan feels a sharp sting. He slaps the back of his neck. Ouch! He cries. The man with the boy leans in. You all right? Alan nods. Just an ant. One of those big jumping ant things. Alan stumbles slightly. One hand grabs a tree trunk. His throat has completely constricted, his tongue swollen and useless. His other hand clutches at the side of his tracksuit pants. He's trying to reach his back pocket. The man steps closer. You all right, mate? Alan opens his mouth to speak, but just a gurgling breath escapes. Alan cannot breathe. He cannot speak. He keeps fumbling for his wallet as it contains something that will assist him in this dire situation. Alan, now visibly distressed at not being able to speak, thrusts the wallet into the father's hand. He is attempting to open it. Finally, Alan is able to open the wallet. The father sees a QR code and hands it to his son. He lays Alan down and asks his son to scan the QR code with his phone's camera. Riley knows what to do because he watched his father, Liam, do this often during the COVID crisis a few years back. And besides, Riley scans the codes on the cereal packs at breakfast to enter competitions. Upon scanning, Riley's phone displays the emergency travel data website and Alan's medical information. The medical information says that Alan is an anaphylactic, subject to severe allergies. It outlines the steps to use the EpiPen, a device that provides immediate, life-saving treatment if Alan ever suffers a severe allergic reaction. Riley says, Hey Dad, look at this. He has an EpiPen somewhere. Riley finds the EpiPen in Alan's bum bag and reads out the instructions to his father from the phone. Dad, you have to firmly press the EpiPen to the man's thigh and hold it there for 3 seconds. While Riley reads the instructions for a second time, Liam does as directed. By now, Alan's throat has become so constricted he cannot breathe and is almost lifeless. Both Riley and Liam are holding their breaths too. Liam takes Riley's phone and calls 000, the Australian emergency phone number. They are told help is on its way. Within 2 minutes, the adrenaline contained in the EpiPen has done its job. It has relaxed Alan's throat muscles and reduced the swelling of his tongue. He is starting to breathe more easily now. Riley is relieved that the man, Alan, is better and breathing. He knows the man's name is Alan because it said so on the website. While his father looks out for the ambulance officers, Riley does his best to comfort Alan. Alan tries to get up, but Riley says he thinks he should stay down and that he will look for other ants, so they won't bite him again. The volunteer South Australian ambulance officers arrive within 15 minutes as they have a temporary station set up in the warmer months at the base of the walking tracks. They assure Alan that because of the fast treatment with the EpiPen, he will be okay now and that he is fine to go home. With the rest of the day now ahead of them, Alan thanks Riley and Liam for their swift action. It saved his life. Alan decides to call it quits and walks back to the car park with his newfound friends. Alan was lucky. He had the QR code, or things may have turned out differently. Who would have thought to look in his bum bag for an EpiPen? But will you be so lucky? An accident or a mishap can happen to anyone, anywhere. A heart attack, a stroke, or a fall, leaving you unconscious and vulnerable. The emergency travel data QR code is right there when you need it. It contains only the information you wish to share. You can change it daily if you wish. It can contain your travel plans when you are abroad or interstate, or your medical information, or your local doctor's contact details, or it can contain all of the above. Like it says in the commercial, don't leave home without it. But the best bit of all is it only costs $33, a once-only payment for life. Can you afford not to have one?